Why don't I treat myself today to a bit of fantasizing? Thinking about what my future would look like. And before I dive into the actual details of what my future I think will look like, it's good to dwell for a couple of moments on the fantasizing process. I think that actually when you think about when I picture my future, what I could be doing in the future, I do genuinely feel like that's quite an accurate depiction of my potential. And I think in a lot of ways, the way I've moved, the directions I've moved, although unpredictable in some ways, I'm in a lot of ways living the kind of various fantasies that I've had. Yes, for sure. I have made my own reality. I think that when you look at yourself and your life and your potentials, it's like imagining what you would be like without your blockages. I think we have an intuitive sense of what that is. And it feels to me that I'm moving a little bit further in that direction. So for me, fantasizing is really, it's somewhat close to truth. Although I suppose the fantasies are always limited by the extent to which you are able to accurately look at yourself. Because if you are picturing yourself with no restrictions, without the current restrictions and tensions or whatever that are holding you back currently, those restrictions and tensions that are holding you back currently are also preventing you from seeing your future properly. But the more close you are to yourself, which is yourself without the restrictions, the better you can see the future, I think. Anyway, rambling over. Let's talk about what really, in my heart of hearts, would be, I know, so nourishing for me and amazing. So, I'd love to have like a splatterboard where I just create and spurt out stuff on a day-to-day basis, but it's like that creation is just I wake up and I create and I just send it out there without checking it, without anything. It's just a in the moment unfurling, and that could be writing, talking. And I have I guess I'll probably have a website, but I'd like to do some stuff in person as well. And I really love, there are quite a few things I really love actually, but writing is one of them. Doing talks is another. Chatting like this, I really enjoy it. And I just know that making music mixes is going to be my other thing. And just that combination would be so much fun. And that's where I see my website going really in the interim. In the meantime, it's just me creating stuff and seeing where that takes me. I don't have a massive amount of time urgency, so I can really follow my heart, follow my instinct. So I see that as like a big fundamental part of my life is the creation. Yeah, and I can see that as like my morning kind of work. Wake up and in my quiet zone and do my thing in nice isolation, in nice, I meditate and in that kind of zone. Yeah. I'd like to live somewhere, not in London, not in England, somewhere warmer. I'm not exactly sure where yet. Probably in like a retreat centre. No. So when we're talking about retreat centre, like somewhere just a bit tucked away in nature, but no, not so tucked away that people can't access me. The logistics is quite difficult to figure out, because I want people to be a part of my life, and I want to have so-called, not customers, but you know what I mean, people who go to for lessons. I want to teach Alexander technique and hold a sitting group. Now I sort of think about that and churn that over and talk it through, I realise that actually I'm quite happy to live a little bit away from that, and then maybe a couple of days a week, like come in and do some Alexander work, teaching, like all day or for most of the day, and then hold a sitting group, do a lot of that on a couple of days a week, and then spend other time like in somewhere a bit quieter. Because we'll see, but I think the difficulty with doing this Alexander type work, which I love so much, is that you need people for it, and people are in cities. This is something I need to figure out. Anyway, I'm living in a wooden cabin. This fantasy is actually getting a little closer to what I'm doing now, because now I'm in my own place. I'm in a Buddhist centre, so I've got an amazing meditation place next to me. There's a park next to me, and my actual room is filled with plants. It's an amazing writing space. So we're moving closer in that direction. And then I think what I really calls to me is hosting retreats. And even I think if I were to host retreats, because that's very sort of intense with like people-wise, I could do that, and then probably not like I could do like 2 days a week of actual Alexander technique lessons after that, because I think it would take out of me, and like spend time in my own sort of energy and whatnot. It's just where to be is really difficult, for like where to find people to be around people who are who I could be friends with, but also interested in the stuff I'm doing, and I can't and who can also pay for it as well. That bit is not something I've really figured out yet. I'm sure it will figure itself out as I continue to play and have fun. I'd love to actually, I know that was what I'd love to do. I'd love to be able to work with children, do some charity work a couple of days a week, Alexander work even with them. I think that could be really good for them and lovely for me. I do fucking love children. So much stuff I love in the world. I just feel like my potential is gradually being realised. It's like it's funny though, because you're always in this stage of like being way further. I've been in this stage of being way further than I had ever dreamed of, and yet not being nowhere near far enough, and always thinking, it could be better and whatnot. And I suppose that will always be the case. But there is an element for me where it's like, to the extent I'm still like, doing my own thing in the corporate world, there is like, I'm not really doing my own thing. It's not really I'm not really living my life on that like, whoa, fuck, this is, I'm really going for it now. There after that point, it's like, I think life will become much more intense. And yeah, that's going to be really interesting. Let's see.